And now, ladies and gentlemen,
Put your thumbs up and say it's Tickety Boo.
Tickety Boo.
Tickety Boo, Tickety Boo, everything's Tickety Boo.
Tickety Boo, son. Tickety Boo.
Tickety Boo.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Tickety Boo. You're here with myself, Andy, Ian and Iona. And this is one of those conversations that seems simple on the surface, but quietly changes how you maybe look at your life. Today we're talking about the fear of being left behind and whether there's actually a race happening at all. I think one of the unexpected advantages of getting a little bit older is that you're generally not as worried about this kind of stuff because you finally understand that, you know what, there actually isn't a race, and how a lot of the stress that we feel in our life comes from actually feeling like we're in a race. Can you kind of resonate with that?
Yes.
Competing with them, whoever they are.
The illusion of the race, and actually we're heading in the same direction. It's going to end at the time it ends, so we should enjoy it, which we've covered on so many of our shows. It's about being present, being in the now.
What's the phrase? All of those that are racing and striving and looking to achieve, we're all slowly walking in the same direction towards the grave.
Ooh.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
A bit sombering, I know, but yeah.
I'd say with age, I don't know that I really thought about racing through. Like when we're younger, like we can't wait for the next thing and to grow up and be able to, whatever it is we're aiming for, those goals that we have. But now, like in my 50s, like I'm really content with where I am. And I look back and I feel that with each decade, I've eased up on myself and I'm able to slow down, choose what I want to do, choose to be intentional with my time.
Do you think, Ian, people may feel like they're behind because they never really stop themselves to ask, where the hell am I going?
Yep.
I'm on my ticket
No. Well, I think, like I said, sometimes you're not entirely sure what your goal is, and you've never structured, whether that's personal or work or whatever.
Yeah.
People have never actually physically given themselves a goal or a way to get there. So you're treading, you're running as fast as you can, but you're not really sure in what direction and what the destination is.
Yeah, I think for me, I couldn't necessarily notice the race, but I could feel a sense of urgency. But if you were to say to me, okay, Andy, where's that urgency coming from? I'm like, I don't know, it's like an invisible cord that's attached to me, pulling me.
Oh, most of it's self-imposed.
Oh,
definitely.
Yeah, 100%. But we feel like that speed and pull is, it's productive, but actually normally it's masking anxiety and fear.
Yeah, do you think it's almost like that deadline that we get at work? We've almost applied the same principle to our lives.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the little bit of wisdom that age has now given me is that actually, do you know what? You're not behind, you're knackered.
You just need some sleep.
You just need some time out.
Yeah.
But then, when you go like, but I can't stop because if I stop, I'm falling behind. You sort of end up in this catch-22, don't you? And that's what it's about. And it's that fallacy of if I ease off, something's going to slip back. I'm going to lose. I'm going to, regress. That I think that's a fear for a lot of people, and that used to stress me out far more than I realised it.
The pushing used to stress me out. What stresses me out now is when somebody asks me to do something, they ask me a question, whatever it is. I like just to be able to have the time to think about my response. I like to be able to take on board what somebody said, digest it, and give a meaningful response. So it's not about making noise, it's about delivering something that's actually worth delivering. But because I do that, especially at home, people think I'm not listening to them. And they're like, yeah, I said, are you going to tell me what? And I'm just like, oh, just calm down.
You're putting a comma in.
You've asked me my opinion. I want to think about the answer, so it's worth delivering.
I like to say I'll get back to you, or because I've been so impulsive and I've done so many things in my life where it's like, that sounds like a great idea without thinking about it. So something I've learned about myself is I have to say, I'll sleep on it and get back to you. Because I say yes so easily, like I have done about so many things.
So are we kind of saying that one of the good things that comes with age is, and the wisdom, is that sometimes you just don't necessarily panic as much about these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not quite so reactive. I don't sort of instantly hit back with an action.
Yeah.
I say hit back, jump to
Yeah.
action without
Yeah.
an opportunity. Because basically I can't physically. We spoke in the last episode about the fact that I feel that I sacrificed large parts of my 20s and basically my entire 30s because I was pushing so hard towards trying to get a goal. And this is where I've got to be. This is what I've got to do. I've got to provide. I need to get to here. I need to be able to achieve these things to show that what I've done successfully. Right. And then I've got a little bit older and actually I've just relaxed and I've started to use my brain rather than just jumping at everything. And in fact, I've got a far better life. My business is twice the size and I've got twice the spare time.
Yeah.
So when you're relaxed and you're not sprinting towards the thing, the success actually...
Oh, yeah. As soon as you just calm down, you release everything. You just... Because the part of it is you hold everything too tight. Everything's personal. And that's the thing about when you're striving. But because you're holding everything so tight, whether you're managing people and you're not giving them the room to grow, or just in life generally, you're so desperate for success, you're holding it tight and it just can't happen. But then when you start to relax, you start to enjoy the ride, it starts to happen.
I was so for you, Andy, because you've had a number of different businesses, you've done a lot of very different things in your life. Do you notice a time where you were racing more, or has it been...
Oh, my God, yeah. Yeah. Like, massive. I couldn't at the time. With hindsight, I can. I have a phrase now. I use it in the therapy room all the time. Force versus flow.
Yeah.
There was a large portion of my life where I was forcing, I was driving, I was pushing. And it gave me a false sense of by doing that I'm achieving. Where actually where I learned to flow and back off, then the wins came and then the productivity came. And it kind of feels counterintuitive because you're like, I'm doing less, but I'm actually getting more. It's like, no, you're actually giving yourself space and capacity to breathe and think. And react in the right ways rather than chasing stuff full of stress, making mistakes, not making good choices. And it's about force and flow. And life changed when I stopped the urgency.
Yeah. And the other thing is if you've got people around you that you work with, rely on, what you're doing is you're imposing your level of your self-imposed urgency. You're enforcing on them, and you know what? They didn't sign up for that.
Nope.
And you're not getting the best out of them.
Yeah.
And they're probably not taking the best version of their self home because you're pressuring them so hard.
But with my team in my other business, when I had that sense of urgency and we were moving forwards and I was forcing life, I never communicated where we were going. It was just like I've turned the steam train into the Japanese bullet train. And I know you said you didn't want to get on the train, but I'm dragging you on it. And like, I would go like, what's the matter with them? Why are they not coming along with the program? And they're like, yeah, if they could have spoke, they probably went, I'm just here to earn the wage, do the job and go home. Not like all of this other stuff that kind of comes with it. Because you all think, oh, we're all aiming for that common goal. But if you said to me, well, all right, Andy, you've thrown them all on this bullet train. Where are you going? I don't know. Hopefully it stops somewhere at some point.
Yeah, at least if you give them a goal and a destination, they can share in that. Everybody's got a direction to pull in. Yeah. But when it's just carnage, push, and you're not all working towards a joint goal because you've not told them what that is. Firstly, they can't take ownership in something they can't see.
I think if I'd been probably really honest with myself and somebody said to me, you know, what were you afraid of back then if you stopped? I think it was failing or falling.
Yeah.
But we hear some of the greatest success stories, the people who have succeeded say, they failed and and got it out because there is no failure. And I think that's the thing that holds some people back is that fear of failing.
Yeah.
So we don't take the risks and create the thing we really want to create when we've been talking about who would we be.
Well, weirdly, when I kind of stopped all that nonsense, mainly because I had enough and I was burnt out, was that all of a sudden these accidental successes turned up that weren't really accidental. I was just able to see an opportunity and pivot and move and position myself towards it. Whereas before I was like Speedy Gonzales, straight past it. Now I can amble into situations or see them and start to gravitate towards it. I didn't have a direction of travel. I was just ricocheting off stuff.
So do you think you were confusing being in that perpetual motion and forward moving as having the meaning and purpose, where actually it's distracting and you're missing the deeper meaning and purpose and the amble and that belonging and the impact?
Yeah, it's like, the analogy would be if I said to you guys, do you want to go on a cruise to New York? And you're like, oh, this is great. You know, we're going to get on the QE2, we're going to glide along. I had a powerboat with 5 V8s on it, and we were going to get to New York in 20 minutes. And it's like, brace, we're going for it. That was kind of like my life was like.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, no consequences of health, the collateral damage of people around you, finances, all of that. It was like, I just, for some reason, came to this place in my head, that's what success is about.
Well, as you get older, you just get a broader awareness of these things. So I always see it as we've all got our own road. Yeah. We've got, if we figured it out, we've got a why. Yeah. And the speed in which we do that road, we dictate ourselves. Yeah. Also, as we're at different points in our 20s, 30s, 10s, whatever it is, we're making our decisions on how we're going to operate from a different place. First, you're hungry for success. Well, first you're just trying to find a direction. Then you're hungry for success. Yeah. Then you get into your 40s and you've got more of a mortality about your decision making. Yeah. Yeah. And it's about not being at 1,000,000 miles an hour. And it's about enjoying the ride, the relationships and everything else. Because you get to a point, especially I'm nearly 50, and you just want to don't want to be in that rat race. Your needs have changed.
Your needs have changed. I think the biggest lesson for me was I was totally fixated on an outcome. Mm-hmm. Could kind of define what that outcome was, but I didn't have total clarity on the outcome, and I needed to move my fixation from the outcome and become fixated on the process of doing the right things. That's consistently. Right.
It's like I was saying, if it's like a road, we have a destination, but you spend more time on the road than you do at the destination. But yet we're so fixated with the destination and what there is at the end of it. And the worst thing is we actually get there to the end and go, you want to think of something else to do and go, well, I got there now.
Well, I'm like one of the, you remember the annoying child on the car trip? Are we nearly there yet? Are we nearly there yet? We're not even off the drive yet. I just so get that, but not enjoy the journey.
That's one of the things I love about motorbiking. So if we go touring, we've got a destination to go to, which is just a common point. It's always going to be a good thing, but the actual activity is the journey. Yeah, and I think that's a great
enjoy the journey,
and that's it. So we're out to be together, enjoy the ride, take in the scenery. And I think that's a perfect analogy.
Because it's a bit like, people work hard all year, then they book a holiday, and then they're like, as soon as I get there, I can sigh, release, and let go. And actually that ability to go, no, the holiday starts the minute you close your laptop the last day of work. You're at home, you're leaving the house, that the journey starts then, not like when you checked in your hotel and you've got your shorts on and you sat by the pool with a cold beer.
Oh, mate, I'm self-employed, so it was always the first 3 days winding down and then the last 3 days winding yourself back up to what you... So I'd spent, you spent 48 weeks absolutely working like a dog, and then one of the few weeks you have off.
I've actually, we're going a little bit off target at the moment. One of the things I've noticed recently is one of the things I've been doing was feeling that interacting with people, especially over digital communication, whether that's email or WhatsApp and stuff, that I have to reply straight away. And I've actually noticed how much my stress and anxiety has dropped off when I get my mobile device further away from me. Like, last 2 days I've been teaching in Edinburgh. I couldn't look at my phone, but I was looking at my phone and engaging with stuff much later in the day. There was no crisis. The world hadn't come to an end. I could manage things, but how much better I felt. But I felt like in the past, if in the race, you've got to respond to stuff quickly. The world will come to an end if you don't.
And they respond quickly, and then you respond back. And
ping pong. Yeah, you open this kind of ping pong. It's like, slow it down, man. The manana phrase. Slow your race down. I think that's really, really empowering. But I think that one of the questions you can ask yourself is, what are you genuinely afraid of if you slow down? and sit with that question for a little while. And then ask yourself, what are you actually racing towards? Because if you can't define it, you maybe need to just press the pause button and figure out your why and where you're going, because it does lead to stress and anxiety and overwhelm because you can't ever reach that space.
Yeah, and there's the book on the regrets of the dying, which is really amazing. Nobody was regretting. They were older, obviously coming towards the end of their life, if you haven't heard of the book, and not one single person said it was about the staff or it was a career. It was always about, you know, having not spent enough time with their families. It was a community, it was belonging, like it's all those things which we know support our well-being. That's what they regret, and I think that's a great reminder. And it wasn't, oh, I'm so excited I rushed through life and did it really fast. It's like slowing down to enjoy those moments and meander, like you said, Andy.
The race promised safety, but it never really delivers it, does it? Yeah, it delivers something else. I think if you feel behind, the reality is, in all likelihood, you're probably not. You're probably exactly where you need to be at this point in time, and you're just comparing your life to other people's lives. Yeah. You're looking at their highlight reels. They're on a different chapter than you, because we're all on different chapters. And there's no finish line you're missing, because there isn't a finish line, is there? We never get to the finish line. There's just the life that you're already in, and you got to make the most of that. I think that's the key message, isn't it? That's the big takeaway from this episode. So if you take nothing of that, be where you are today and take that and move forwards with it.
Yeah. Or if you know, when we're saying about how hard do we push, is it a race? There's always going to be a balance between providing the stuff that you need, but if you can do it at a pace that suits you and you can enjoy it, or at least it doesn't stress you out, well, that's the thing. And if you're not in the right environment for that, there's always options to take yourself out to another environment. You can pivot, you can change. Yeah. That one job is not the only job that you can do. Your skill set is huge.
Yeah, everything can change, and it starts with you just deciding, I'm going to slow it down.
Yeah,
and turn this into a walk rather than a sprint.
So, as an older getting a bit older, I look back and it's all about enjoying the ride and being able to leave what I do in the day behind and actually go home and enjoy my work life as a separate entity. Yeah. That's important to me. And being able to go to the gym, being able to do other things without still being stuck in what's happening tomorrow, what's happening. But, oh my God, I can't believe this happened today.
I think it's a really important point. So there's no finish line, just be in the life that you're already in. Slow your roll. Bring it down to a less than brisk walk, and you'll find that things can change. As always, we really appreciate you watching these episodes of Tickety Boo, and we look forward to catching up with you in the next episode.
If you or someone close to you needs to access mental health support, please contact your GP, or if it's out with normal office hours, get in touch with NHS 24 on 111. Alternatively, contact the Samaritans on 116 123. All calls are free of charge from any phone. You can also find more support information on the Tickety Boo website, ticketyboopodcast.co.uk.